Your brain is not as objective as you think. Every day, invisible mental shortcuts shape what you believe, what you buy, who you trust, what risks you avoid, and which decisions feel right. These shortcuts are called cognitive biases. They help your brain move fast, but sometimes they quietly distort reality. In this video, Brain Story Lab breaks down 10 cognitive biases that secretly control your decisions. Your brain has a difficult job. It must process endless information, predict danger, save energy, and make decisions quickly. To do this, it uses shortcuts. Most of the time, these shortcuts are helpful, but when they misfire, they can make you ignore evidence, fear loss, trust the familiar, or stay stuck in bad choices. Let's begin with the first bias. Confirmation bias makes your brain look for proof that you are already right. Once you believe something, your mind starts noticing information that supports it, and it quietly ignores information that challenges it. That is why two people can see the same facts and reach completely different conclusions. Your brain does not always search for truth. Sometimes it searches for comfort. Anchoring bias happens when the first number, price, or idea becomes stuck in your mind. After that, everything else gets compared to it. A discount feels bigger because of the original price. A salary feels fair because of the first offer. A first impression shapes everything after it. Your brain treats the first information like an anchor, even when it should not. Status quo bias makes familiar situations feel safer than change. Even when change could improve your life, your brain sees the unknown as risk. That is why people stay in routines, jobs, relationships, or habits that no longer help them. The familiar does not always mean better. Sometimes it only means easier for the brain to accept. Loss aversion makes losing feel stronger than winning. Losing $100 hurts more than finding $100 feels good. Your brain gives extra weight to loss because avoiding danger once helped humans survive. But today, that same bias can make you avoid smart risks. Sometimes the fear of losing keeps you from gaining. The sunk cost fallacy makes you continue something just because you already invested in it. Time, money, emotion, effort. The more you invest, the harder it feels to walk away. But past effort is already gone. The better question is not, how much have I invested? It is, would I choose this again today? The endowment effect makes things feel more valuable once they belong to you. An ordinary object can suddenly feel harder to give up when it becomes yours. Your brain connects ownership with emotional attachment. That is why selling something you own can feel painful, even if you would never buy the same thing again today. Availability bias makes recent or emotional memories feel more common than they really are. If you just heard a scary story, your brain may start seeing the world as more dangerous. If a recent mistake embarrassed you, your mind may overestimate the chance of it happening again. Your brain judges risk by what comes to mind fastest, not always by what is most likely. Hindsight bias makes the past feel obvious after you already know the result. After something happens, your brain rewrites the uncertainty. Before the outcome, things felt messy. After the outcome, they feel predictable. That is why people say, "I knew it all along," but often they did not know. Their brain just made the past look clearer than it was. The illusory truth effect makes repeated ideas start feeling true. The more often you hear something, the easier it becomes for your brain to process. And when something feels easy to process, it can feel believable. That is why repeated messages, ads, rumors, and opinions can become powerful. Familiarity is not proof. Evidence is. The mere exposure effect makes familiar things feel more likable. A song you disliked can grow on you. A face can feel more trustworthy after you see it often. A brand can feel better simply because it appears again and again. Your brain often trusts what feels familiar, but familiar does not always mean better. It only means your brain has seen it before. Cognitive biases do not mean your brain is broken. They mean your brain is trying to save energy. It wants quick answers, safe choices, familiar patterns, and fewer mental struggles. But once you notice these biases, you can pause before reacting. You can question your first impression. You can check the evidence. You can ask better questions. And that is how better decisions begin. If you want to understand the hidden patterns behind everyday behavior, subscribe to Brain Story Lab and tell me in the comments, which bias controls your decisions the most? Confirmation bias, loss aversion, sunk cost fallacy, hindsight bias, or the comfort of the familiar? I will see you in the next Brain Story Lab video.